So we're going to do the last problem in chapter 3 now. And so I want you to envision a car on a slope. It's at 10 degrees relative to the horizontal. And here is a block that goes all the way across from the left side tires to the right side tires, or from the driver's to the passenger side, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, so the cross section of this block rod is not round, so we'll just say with a long rectangular block. The cross section here is 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters. All right, this block going across all the way back across the axle effectively is 20 kilograms, and the coefficient of static friction between the block and the pavement is 0.8. The car has a mass of 1,000 kilograms. It's free to roll. Ignore all rolling resistance other than the block. Radius of a tire on either side is 40 centimeters. And assume the tire is always round. All right. And so the question is will the block hold and stop the car, or will it give way and the car is going to roll downhill and humor erupts? Okay, so we have to think about this, and so here's the way I would look at this is start from what you know, and just kind of work your way back, or to what you don't know. So what do I know? This is 1,000 kilograms, and it's free to roll downhill. So this thing is going to have 1,000 kilograms. So it's 1,000 times G is the force down. Okay. Now, I can bust that up into two components. So the angle in here will be 10 degrees. So 1,000 times G cosine of 10 degrees would be the force this way, and that'll be opposed by the road is holding the car up. It's not falling to the road. But if I take 1,000 times G and take the sine of 10 degrees right there, that'll give the force wanting to drive this thing down the road. Okay? And then what's stopping that? Well, presumably the block, because that's all there is. Okay? So let's just figure out what's the force trying to drive this thing down the road. All right? So we would have 1,000 kilograms times 9.81, and that's meant to be 10 degrees, and I'll let that just continue down. And so here we have, this here would be the force going into the road, and the road is then pushing back against it, and that's the force driving it down the road. Okay, so I have that term here is 1,000 times 9.81 sine of 10 degrees. And that works out to be 1,703.5 newtons. So this is the downhill force. All right, so that's what the block has to stop. The car's not going through the street, and the block isn't concerned with that. It's concerned with it overwhelming it as it tries to roll down the hill. Okay, so that's what the block has to stop. All right, well now, how is the block going to interact with the car? Let's just deal with that next, conceptually. And so the block is going to interact with the tire. So let's put in a downhill ramp, as it were. And let's put in a tire. So there's a tire. And we'll just draw in a generic block. And there we have it. And that's where the axle is. Okay? So the radius of the tire is 40 centimeters. So we have 40 there. We have 40 there. and this is 8 by 8. All right. Well, if we follow this over, and I'm going to let this angle in here be theta, well, notice this. If this is 40 from here to here, because if that's 8 and that whole thing is 40, let's just take that one out. From there to there, it's 32 centimeters. Has to be. So that tells me 40 cos theta equals 32. Solve for theta. That would give me, let's see, 36.87 degrees is that angle. Well, when I followed that over right there, that's 90 degrees. So let's call this angle alpha in here. Alpha, so what's alpha going to be? It's a triangle. 180 minus 90 minus theta. And let's see, what does that leave us with? 90 minus, must have it here somewhere. Ah, there it is. 53.13 degrees. So I have that. Why did I care about that? Well, let's just do this drawing one more time. So continue to move it up. So keep in mind this block here, all right, goes all the way across. So I have the one tire coming in here. All right, the tire is always round, so this would then be tangent right there. So if this was the center, and the tire on the other side would be absolutely identical, of course. So the force of the car would come along that radius. All right, where this angle in here is 53.13 degrees, and of course that's 10 degrees. All right, so we have two tires and the force of the car is coming along this line onto that block. Okay, so we all have to, you have to see that. Okay, so, but let's think about this. We know we have a lot of information here. Notice what we have here. We know the force downhill, so the force along this line of the total force of the car against this block is 1703.5 newtons. Well, that says the force of the car times the cosine of 53.13 must be 1703.5, because it's this force that creates that force. All right? So we know what the car's force going down the hill is, so that allows us to figure out what this is. All right? So let's figure that out. So FC cos of 53.13 is 1703.5. Solving, we get the force of the car on the block along that line is what? 3839.2 newtons. All right. Why did I care about that? Okay. Let's just deal with one more thing first before I answer that question. This block, it has mass. It's 20 kilograms, so we have, coming straight down, I have 20 kilograms times 9.81. All right. So here's the thing. So I have some weight here. Okay. So this, look what's happened. Here's 17. So this is 2839 newtons. And then this has a component. Then I have this, but that's going to result in a normal force from the road. That's what I'm going to have to figure out. And once I know this normal force, then I can figure out how much friction force is available. Because once I know that normal force, I multiply that by up here, I can't see it at the moment, but 0.8, and that's the maximum friction that's available. So here's what I can do by looking at, I need to look at this, how much force is coming down this way and down that way, and that determines the normal force. So let's just start to set this up, because this is probably getting a little confusing here. This is much easier to do on a large chalkboard. So I'm going to call that y, and let me call that x. All right. So the force coming down the road is this 1703.5 newtons. I need to have 1703.5 newtons available of friction force to cancel that out. So here's the question. I need to find out how much force is coming down on the road, and the road is pushing backs, because that'll tell me how much friction force is available. So let's make that happen now. That's the next step. So I'm going to sum the forces in the y. So note here I have y is positive down. All right, so here I have 20 times 9.81. All right, so that's thinking I'm going to actually draw a new picture that's a little bigger and easier to see. So one more time. So there's 20G, okay. There. So there's that force, 10 degrees. Okay, so let's break that down. All right, now when we do that, so here, this is 20, write that bigger. So there's 20 times gravity, 20 kilograms times G. All right, this angle in here, that's 10 degrees. Okay, so this is the portion coming down, and then notice we have a little bit more force actually going down the hill, so we have to add that in. Okay, then we had right here, and this worked out to be 2839.2 newtons, where that angle is 53.13 degrees. Then we have a normal force here, and a friction force going this way. Now we're set to finish this up. So we're going to solve some of the forces in the y. We have the room to do it. So we have 20 times g, 20 times 9.81, cosine of 10 degrees, right there. All right. And then here we have 28.392, and then we would take the sine of 53 there. So that's also going, no, down is positive here, plus 2839.2 sine of 53.13 degrees. All right, and then minus n equals 0. That's pushing back. Solve for n, come up with n is 2464.6 newtons. All right, now, so the static friction that's available going this way, F friction max, is mu(s) times n, which is 0.8 times n, and that works out to be, let's see here, 1971.6 newtons. And so here's the normal force, and there's the unit new newtons. That's a little confusing, but I trust you can keep it straight. So that's what I have available to go here. How much did I need? Okay. Recall we had 1703.5, and now I've also got 20 times g sine of 10 degrees. Okay, so total downhill force. I have the force of the car and the force due to gravity with the block is equal to, all right, we have 20 times 9.81 sine of 10 degrees plus the previously found downhill force, 1703.5. Add them all up, you get 1737.6 newtons, which is a lot less than 1971.6 newtons. So we have a lot to spare. So we're left with block will stop car. All done. This is a problem that if we were to put this on an exam and this is all you saw, students would go crazy. Okay? If I were to do that to you now. You know this information from physics. And it's just the process of solving the problem, breaking it down. Okay? We started from what we knew. We knew the weight, figure out the force of the car coming down. And we said, okay, that force is going to go through the tire. So then next thing we did is, so we drew the tire and figured out all the geometry. And once we figured out the geometry, we could say, okay, here's the force going down the hill. We knew the force of the tire is going to go along from the axle straight down to the point of contact on the block. Okay, so we have FC here. So knowing this, we could use trigonometry, figure out FC. And at that point, hopefully this all makes sense to you. We can simply sum the forces along this chosen Y, get the normal force, that tells us the maximum available friction. Then we take the two forces along the X, and we compare them, and we find we're okay. It's just step by step, doing drawings, figuring out what we need at each step, and we come to an answer. And that finishes up chapter 3. Our next chapter, chapter 4. We'll catch you soon. Bye now.